Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here again with my art journal. So I'll just quickly move my camera down. Yep, we've been doing various pages in my art journal and yep, back again with it. So let's just select my page that we're going to be working on. Now I'm going to try and challenge myself today to do a slightly more toned down layout, let's just say, because every time that I have worked in my art journal lately, I have made it so bright and, you know, so, yeah, probably garish by a lot of people's standards. And I want to try and see whether I can actually manage to do something a little bit more toned down, I think, today. So I'm just putting some paper here in between my pages because I should have been doing that all along. What's happened is sometimes, you know, I've kind of dabbed it onto the underneath pages. I haven't damaged any of them so far, but it's only a matter of time. So I've just done that to, you know, keep it kind of like reasonably, you know, reasonably clear, I suppose. So, yeah, I'm going to try and do a bit of a toned down layout. Now, I'm going to start, I think, by just putting some very vintage, this is very vintage book page in the background. Now, again, you know, I mean, I'm just learning with this, but I'm putting this in the background, but it may be that it would all end up covered up, you know. So, yeah, if it seems like it was a waste of time by the end, you know, that might be the case. But it's just a kind of starting point, really, to, you know, to kick my layout off. So, just going to go around with all of this. And if you haven't seen my, you know, channel before, or maybe this art journal or anything, so I've got a couple of different art journals actually on the go. But this particular one, it's one of those, you know, like scrapbook type things. Not the scrapbooks like with the sleeves, but just, you know, a scrapbook with some of these craft coloured pages. And I just thought it's brilliant for doing art journaling. And I love the craft colour. You know, always love the craft colour. So to actually be able to kind of incorporate that into some of these art journal layouts is really, really awesome. So there we go. Pop that down. Now, I might do a bit of finger painting on this because I did the finger painting with the Louise Heinzel and Pam at the Paper Outpost, their Crazy Craft Challenge. Really, really enjoyed doing the finger painting on there. And yeah, I might just do a bit more of that, and I might do similar colours to what I used in that challenge. So I've got here beside me some white paint and some of that duck egg blue. It's called actually sea spray. It's not called duck egg blue, but it looks like duck egg blue. So that's those. Right. Now I've also got, from my book page bundles, I've got these gorgeous, don't know really what these would be called. What does this say? Oh, I can't really see, but I mean, there's probably a name for these kinds of properties, to be honest, but aren't they just so pretty? And I thought, let's have those in the background. Oh, I have to say I quite like that image, but anyway, let's have these in the background. So just going to tear these down, and I'm going to tear them around a little bit in the shape. I mean, not too much, but just a little bit like that. Oops, like that. I'm just going to have those in the background because these are you know, in this pretty white, and I just think actually if I'm doing quite a neutrally layout, then perhaps these will go quite nicely with it. So, you know, it's all just experimentation. We will see, obviously, how it will go, but yeah, I thought these would be quite nice on here. So just put those down, and they are just torn around the top and not around the bottom. Sorry, I'm just getting a wipe so that I've got a wipe to hand, because I will definitely be needing a wipe, won't I, at some point. So I've got those. Now I've got this bee, I could use that. I've got that vintage man. I might save those couple of bits for something else. Yeah, I mean, I might decide to use them here later, I'm not sure. Now I've got this big clock. These are my large images, and these are in acetate kind of versions. And I've got this butterfly wing, not not necessarily that recognisable because I've cut it in half. And unfortunately, I've cut it so far in half, if you know what I mean. There's not that much left of it. But, you know, that's fine. Doesn't matter. So I've got those. Now, what else have I got here? Got these from my Junk Journal Basics kit. And I've also got some of these printed onto transparency. Oh, they would have been quite nice just on the craft. Oh, I might have to come back and do another layout using something like that just on the craft, actually, because that's quite nice. Right, do we want to have the clock here? Yeah, I'm going to cut the clock down, I think. So, actually, this is a bit of a waste of this because this is actually on transparency that I've then laminated, so as I had a much thicker piece to be able to use. So yeah, this is probably a bit wasteful, so perhaps I will not use this because I don't want to kind of waste something that's actually, you know, possibly going to be better for something else. So let me just see whether I've got anything else to hand that might be, you know, that might work okay. So right, okay, what have I got here? Got some other laminated images. Oh, they're all laminated. Oh, perhaps I'll just have to go with that because, yeah, they all actually appear to be laminated. I thought I had some just printed on the transparency, but actually I think they're all laminated. Let's just check. Yep, they're laminated. Let's check in here. Nope, none even left in here. So, yep, none at all. Okay, let me just check over here. I've got these. These are sort of sheets of my single side laminated pieces ready for various things. Yeah. Oh, that's so annoying. The other thing that I have got actually, oh, this typewriter. I mean, I've used this typewriter before in a different layout, but and there's no reason why we couldn't do it again. Well, I mean, we could do it again, actually, to kind of like play around and see how different we could make it look, I suppose. That might be quite an interesting thing to do. Yeah, should we do that? Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to Mod Podge over my whole page so that I've got, you know, a good smudgy surface. So, not Mod Podge, sorry, gesso. Oh my goodness. So in this craft book, every time that I've gessoed, I've used this clear transparent gesso because I want to keep the craft colour, you know, wherever possible, because, you know, I've chosen this craft colour because I like the craft colour. So yeah, let's just get this down. Okay. So, and you know, the reason I'm putting the gesso down is just so that hopefully it's going to give me a good base for which to be able to blend and, you know, put my paints on. So just kind of put that down like that. Okay. Honestly, I'm going to be covered in paint within like 5 minutes. I can just tell it's going to be one of those days. You know, when you just, you can already see the mess kind of going to be happening. Right, okay. So, yeah. Because I just want to be able to put my blendy patterns. Okay. Let's get the lid on that. I do like this clear gesso. It's, yeah, really good. I mean, especially if you're wanting to keep the colour, you know, which I do obviously in this craft colour book. It's just kind of ideal to be able to use. Right. Okay. So then I'm going to go over with some of the white and the duck egg, I think. Now, do I want to put anything else in the background before I start going on with the paint is the question. I've also got some Hessian here, which I mean we could even possibly put some Hessian on. I don't know whether I'm going a little bit crazy now, trying to mix in different, you know, weird textures. That might just be, yeah, a step too far, maybe a little bit too weird. So perhaps we won't do that. I'm just seeing what else I've got laying around. Just really because I don't want to waste that laminated sheet, which, I mean, is slightly ridiculous, isn't it? So, yeah, perhaps I will just use the laminated sheet after all. Okay, let's bring it back in. Okay, just finished cutting this out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've used the clock before. But, you know, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Now, I also recently bought some rice paper because I had used those lovely rice paper, you know, rice papers. And then I bought a rice paper pad and I've printed off some of my photographs onto the rice paper to see how they would look. So, I mean, we could even incorporate something like that. I'm actually thinking what we could do is incorporate some of the plain rice paper. But of course, I don't now know where my rice paper pad is. I think it's downstairs by the printer. Got some vellum. I'm just kind of hunting around thinking, oh, what else am I going to put on here? Just having a quick look, seeing if there's anything else, like, you know, just that seems like the glaringly obvious thing. Can't really see anything at the moment. So, right, let's put some paint down. So, going to try and do the finger painting, like I say. Now, I have to say I can't remember really, but I think I smooshed rather than dabbed, didn't I, when I did that finger painting? And that seemed to work pretty well. Probably need quite a bit more paint than this, but let's give it a try and see. So just going to smoosh this in with my fingers. And I'm going obviously over this image as well because I want it all nicely blendy, you know, nicely blended. I don't want it kind of like, you know, well, standing out like a sore thumb's a bit of a weird thing to say because, I mean, of course it is going to. But, yeah, I want it to be a bit more blended with the whole picture. So, let's just take it like that. And then, okay. Now, I'm going to go in with some of that duck egg as well because we also had some of that on our one that we did in the, you know, the original video. And I just loved the combination of the duck egg, I must say. It's such a pretty colour. Oh, how gorgeous is that? I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really show up that much. But, yeah, it's very, very pretty. Okay. Like that. Okay. Yeah, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? I mean, hopefully, you know, once all other bits are stuck on here and things, it's going to hopefully, yeah, pull together. I know, I've got my doubts myself. You know, if you're thinking, no, what's she up to? No idea. I'm also having my doubts. Right, I'm just going to get my heat tool and kind of dry this because obviously at the moment it's pretty wet. So it would be difficult to be able to do anything on here. Oh, it's such a lovely day today. I'm filming ahead, so I know I always say this, but just putting it out there again. I'm filming ahead, so if it's a horrible day where you're waking up, honestly, it's beautiful today as I'm filming. But yeah, not necessarily now in reality. Okay. Oh. Must have really put thick layers on because, yeah, this is taking longer to dry than I'd expected. Come on. Oh, just muck that up a little bit. Oh, well, never mind. Right, let me just tip this up to be able to get it to dry a bit quicker. This is as close as my heat tool comes, so in case you're thinking, oh, why doesn't she just, you know, move the heat tool? This is as close as I can get it. You know, the lead will only extend so far. Okay. Oh dear, dab that again. Not doing very well with the dabbing so far, am I? Definitely not doing well with that. Okay. Okay, right, not too bad. I think it is still a little bit on the wet side, but hopefully not too bad. Now I'm just having a look to see if I've got any packets of die cuts that I haven't opened yet. I really love using die cut pieces, and I have made some of my own packs, which I don't know whether they have been for sale yet in my shop, but yeah, I don't have any of my own packs currently made up, so I'm just going to see if I've got some that I could use laying around. Oh, I might have to stop the video and go and get a couple. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm back. I've pulled in some die cut pieces. Now, these are Stamperia pieces. I have to say, these are chipboard type pieces. So they're thicker than I would have liked. They're, oops, these Stamperia die cuts, horses. These are, the theme is horses. Yeah, they are not as thick as some of the ones that I've bought in the past from Stamperia, but they're not that thin. Yeah, so I would have probably preferred to have them a little bit thinner than this. And weirdly, I don't recall actually ordering these because, yeah, I don't think I would have really chosen to get horses. That being said, they are very pretty. So, you know, I don't dislike them. I'm not sort of displeased with them. But, yeah, I can't recall when I would have bought these or, you know, why I would have bought these. But anyway, I digress. So we will just kind of get on with these. So you get quite a good selection. So I'm just going to kind of pull some out. Obviously, you've got different coloured horses, but because I want to go for a colourless kind of theme here, I mean, I say that, it's not looking colourless already. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be ending up colourless, but never mind. And I'm thinking let's have this clock somewhere in the background as well, because obviously that was, you know, that was the original plan, was to have the clock somewhere as well. So what I might do is glue my horse onto the clock, weirdly, so that then I can put the clock down under where the horse is glued, if that makes sense. So like that. Okay, so just sticking my horse onto the clock, and then that gives me a guide where I can then put my glue onto the clock. So like that. Yep, okay, I quite like that. Now I'm going to do a bit of gesso, I think, in a couple of places. And again, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be colourless, and I'm going to just use white. So let's just put some of that down. And I like to use just a little portion of card for applying my gesso. And I've said this before, I'm not saying this is necessarily, you know, everybody's best method, but you know, kind of over time, you just play around, don't you, and discover what suits you best. For me, I have found this to be what suits me best. So just take a bit of card and just kind of spread it with the card. So like that. Now I might do a little bit here. Like that, okay. Maybe a little bit here. And, you know, again, I just want to have a bit of random stenciling. Don't want to have it kind of looking too uniform, like that. And, yeah, should we have a little bit here? A bit here. This might not really even show up, to be honest, where it's on top of that paint, but that's not too bad. It shows up a little bit. So, yeah, not too bad. Okay, let's put this to one side now. Get rid of this as well to one side. Let me just take my wipe and just wipe this down for a moment. So I've got it for next time, because I seem to have mislaid all my other card that I've been using in the past. Okay, right. Get rid of this out of the way. So, I mean, I've just added that just so I've got some other texture going on, so it's a bit more kind of interesting. Okay, right. Now, what do we want next? So we're going to have, obviously, the clock with the horse. Yeah, kind of here, I think. So I might glue this on next. So let's just take the hot glue. Just going to place the hot glue around the horse and onto the clock where the horse is, if you see what I mean. So it's actually just being glued where that actual horse is. Like that. Okay. So the clock is attached, but it's glued under the horse, so you can't see the glue under the clock. Okay, so that's my horse there. Now I've also got some fence, which was also in that horse's die cut pack. Obviously, again, you know, because this is chipboard, you know, it's, yeah, I feel a bit, oh, do I want to put that down? Because now I've got like 2 overlaid layers of chipboard, but you know, yeah, let's just go for that and work with it anyway. So let's put that down. Oh, this is going to be super fiddly to glue, so I'm just going to glue it, I think, kind of through these bits, and then just, yeah, just odd bits, I think. Tricky to glue this. Well, I mean, obviously it would have been better with wet glue because I could have taken my time, but because it's gluing onto like the lumpy horse and all that, I felt like I just needed something that was going to glue it instantly. So for me, that hot glue was just, you know, the best, easiest option to use. Oh, I must say, I'm loving this. This is a really, really, really different layout for me. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done anything with horses before, so yeah, very, very different for me. But you know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Is using different things. So let's see what else we've got in that Stamperia horses kit, or not kit, but you know, the die cut pieces. That's quite cute, little kind of horseshoe. So let me just keep that to one side. Anything that's a possible, just going to keep, I think, to one side. That's possible. That's, yeah, not really my type of thing. I got all of this from that website Craftelia. Now I have to say I had a lot of problems. My delivery went missing, you know, my parcel went missing. I had to reorder it in the end. You know, in fairness, their communication was amazing. They were very, very, very helpful. Oh, well, good on the email. They did, however, you know, I had to reorder it. They couldn't actually just replace the order for me, which was a bit annoying because I'd placed quite a lot in the order, which was then frustrating because obviously then what happened was I couldn't really remember. Well, I could, because I had obviously my original order, but some of those things were sold out and things like that. And yeah, it was just kind of, it took up quite a bit of time, and I would have preferred them to have just been able to re-put the order through. But that being, you know, aside, they actually were, you know, were good because the fact that they did refund the order and things. So yeah, they are based in Spain. But yeah, it's not typical, but my order ended up taking 3 months to come because it had gone missing, you know, been delivered to the wrong address, which they had a photograph, you know, of where it had been delivered to, not my house. So yeah, look at this. This is perfect. It says, live your life by a compass, not a clock. So that's going to be ideal, isn't it? Let's keep this. Yeah, so obviously I was then able to confirm, well, that's not my house. So that was not, you know, not delivered to me. I'd already said it, you know, it hadn't been delivered to me. And at that point, obviously, then I just filled out a form and they were able to refund my order. So, you know, from that point of view, they were excellent. But yeah, it was just disappointing because when you place an order, obviously, you know, don't want to have to wait 3 months for it to come. But, you know, I mean, it wasn't their fault. So, yeah, and like I say, I mean, it was fine. They did, you know, they did then refund it and things. But, yeah, I can't imagine that I would have ordered this. But I must have done. I must have ordered this. And like I say, because I had to order that order twice, place that order twice, you know, I possibly by the second time was losing the will to live and ended up ordering the wrong thing. Who knows? But yeah, anyway, right. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a few little finger paint dabs. We did this on those journal cards and I really liked how they turned out. So let me just go in here. I'm going to just do them over that fence a bit in that corner so as it blends the fence in. Okay, like that, and then just a few down here. Oh, this is not resembling that journal card at all, I have to say. It's not looking great. I'm just going to put some over the clock as well so as we blend the clock a bit more into the background. Okay, and it's quite good because you can smudge them on this chipboard of the horse. So although I've put them on the horse, you know, they're quite smudgeable. Okay, like that. Okay, and a bit up here. Okie dokie. Maybe a little bit round here. Oops. Yeah, quite like how that looks now. A bit down there and maybe a bit just here in the corner. Like that. Oh, I love how that looks. Now I'm just wondering whether I could actually blend that clock in here or whether actually that's going to make it really, you know, just actually look awful. It may well make it look awful. So yeah, perhaps I'll refrain from doing that. Now let me just wipe that paint up before I end up dabbing that on something. Because that's easily done. Very, very easily done. Okay. Right. So this little sentiment, live your life by a compass, not a clock. Don't know quite where I want to have this. Let's cut it down because I don't want it in one long strip. So let me cut that edge down as well. Okay. Might have it over here or something. So live your life by a compass, not a clock. So oops. And here. Maybe we could have that on the clock. Or maybe there. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? Now, just wondering, I've got this rosette, which actually goes pretty well, doesn't it? So maybe we could have that down there. And again, might just put actually a bit of paint or something on here, but maybe I will glue it down first and put some paint on. What do we think? Or perhaps we'll have it here. Let's put these on. Okay, oops. Okay. Yeah, this is a super different layout for me, I have to say. Very, very, very different. Oh, I hope I'm going to like it by the end. I'm not sure at the moment. Not sure that I'm convinced. But sometimes, you know, that's just because things are not our usual style, isn't it? And, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not nice. It's just, it takes a while to get used to things. You know, but yeah, hopefully it will grow on me. Now, do we want that more squashed in? Let's just see where I'm going to have my not compass, my rosette. Oh, I could have it on the clock. That's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I think I probably prefer this all squashed up there, just because it then gives me a bit more scope actually with what to do elsewhere, I think. So yeah, up there, and then let's just have a look. Do we want any other words? I mean, that's quite nice actually up there, isn't it? Yeah, okay, let's put that one on. Now, wondering whether I might do a bit of stamping in the background. Or do we think stamping's going to be colouring it? So perhaps avoid stamping. Maybe. I wonder if I could have this on the horse. Oops, it's a bit ginormous probably for on the horse, but... Well, plus I suppose it's layering up that chipboard again, isn't it? And actually making it thicker. So probably best to avoid doing that, I suppose. Perhaps we'll have it down there. I'd quite like to have it somewhere. It's just a case of decide where, really. Yeah, maybe down here. Okay, right. So I might go back in now with a bit more of the white and the duck egg, I think. So yeah, I'm quite liking how that looks actually. So yeah, even though I've just wiped that duck egg up, I'm going to just get some more out. And maybe a bit of white as well, and then just dab that around in a couple of places. And yeah, let's do that. So we'll just get some white. Oh dear, a bit too much came out there, didn't it? And then some of the duck egg. I had got this kind of yellowy creamy colour as well, but to be honest, I don't think I really want to have the yellow. Well, it's not really yellow, but you know, this linen, I don't think I probably want to have that anywhere. I think I'm just going to stick with the white and the duck egg. So yeah, right, just going to go over that rosette a bit. Oops. Oh dear. Yeah, just smudge that perhaps a bit in, just so as it's blended it and toned it down a bit. So because I wanted to do a sort of much more toned down layout, didn't I? So yeah, that's quite nice. Okay, and then just a bit off the, just like that. Okay. Oh, how cool does that look? Yeah, love that. And then just a bit more up here, and maybe a bit more around this word as well. Again, just so as it's blending in a bit more. Oh dear. Blending in or completely covered, one or the other. Okay. Oh, it's only a matter of time, wasn't it, before I did that? Okay, yeah. So I quite like how that looks, to be honest. Might just do a bit of kind of thick white in one or two places, because I do quite like that, you know, solidy type look. You know, then it's more like a frame, isn't it? I'll just dab over that with a bit of the duck egg now. Okay. Yeah, definitely prefer that sort of more solid filled in look. Now, do I want to do that down here as well? I think possibly I do. So again, just go in here. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, liking how that looks. Right, let me wipe this up again. Honestly, I'm like pouring it out and mopping it up, pouring it out and mopping it up. Right, let's just very quickly dry this off a bit so that hopefully I can then do a bit of blending. My version of blending anyway. Not blending, you know, shading. I can't remember what the word was even. Okay. dokey. It's quite saturated, this page now, so yeah, sorry about the time it's taken now to dry it off. But it does get quite saturated quite quickly, really, when you're layering up, you know, or building up the layers. Okay. Right, let me just feel under a couple of areas where I'm going to be doing the shading. Making sure that they're dryish. Right, okay. So I'm going to try now. I always feel so nervous when it comes to doing the shading because, you know, I feel like I could really muck it up. And, you know, I mean, sometimes I guess we do muck it up, don't we? And, you know, but you got to just take that risk, haven't you? So I'm going to put a bit of shading here around the fence. Now, this is my black watercolour pencil. It's not like an expensive one. It's one of those Staedtler pencils. I've just got a set that I bought years ago from Amazon, I think. But yeah, they're pretty good. I've had them for a long time. My main one that I use is, of course, the black one. So yeah, I don't know whether you can buy them individually, but probably that's like the only one that I would really probably need to buy. Is just the black. And then I'm just going to put, I think, a bit of shading under maybe a couple of the words, so like that. And do we want any under the horse's face? Maybe a bit. Yeah, like that. Okay, right. And then just get a brush. Oh, that's not an ideal brush. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, fingers crossed that this is going to be okay. And I'm just going to put some water down on the desk. So just going to pour some down here. Just to dip my brush in. Okay. So let's just... Just kind of like blend that in a bit. Okay. And a bit under the horse's feet. I guess can go down there a bit. Okay, and then we've got the bit here around the horse's face. I did make a bit of a muck up here because I put a lot by mistake on the front of that horse's face. So I'm just going to take my wipe and see whether I can kind of wipe that off a bit. I mean, if not, I suppose I could always paint over that. So, you know, dab some more paint on, but let's just see. Okay. Okay, just dab that a little bit. That's better, isn't it? Okie dokie, and then just a little bit here around the sentiment that we've got up there. Okay, and again just kind of smudge that. Oh dear, not making a great job of this. I mean, this, yeah, this is all very new techniques to me, so you know, very much kind of learning and mucking it up, you know. Okay, just dab that off a bit if it's a bit thick. Okay, that's not too bad, is it? Yeah, not too bad. I wonder whether I should actually just make that go right the way round, really. Yeah, I might prefer that just to be like a complete sort of grey patch, I think. More like that. Okay. Like that. Okay. Oh dear. Just go up a bit. Oh dear. Not sure I'm doing a very good job now. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Let me just stand up and look down on it, because sometimes it really does look quite different when you look down. I like this shading here. I don't know whether that's in camera properly. Hopefully it is now. Yeah, I like that down there. I just put a bit over there, perhaps. Yeah, I'm gonna get a bit going on over there, I think so. Okay, just smoosh that and smudge it a little bit. Oh, that looks so pretty. Yeah, I really like how that looks actually now. So, just want to put some splatters on, I think. So, yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy with how that looks. I'm not saying it's turned out as colourless as I was trying to aim for. Yeah, I don't really know what went wrong, but you know me, I mean, I struggle to do colourless at all. So, I mean, by my standards, this is pretty colourless. I realise that by a lot of people's standards, it perhaps doesn't really look very colourless. But yeah, to me, it feels like it's been reasonably colourless, I think. So, I think what I might do is just go around the very edge with maybe some black stays on or something like that to just make that stand out a little bit. So, it's kind of like just a bit of the black stays on around there. Yeah, just kind of gives it more of a finished look, I think. So a bit there as well. And let's just go up the top and do a little bit up there. Okay, and a bit down the side as well. Oh, how pretty does that look? Yeah, really like that. And now, what colour splatters would we have on this? We could have duck egg ones. We could have white ones. Oh, I don't know now. I mean, I've got my Distress spray stain. Could try and do some kind of splatters with that. I never really find this very powerful. You know, the effect I find a little bit wishy-washy, and I'm never really that pleased with it. So yeah, let's try and do some duck egg. Honestly, I keep pouring this out and mopping it up. Pouring it out and mopping it up. I'm going to try and stop doing that now, because it's just silly, isn't it? Right, let's just pour a little bit of water on there. Now, I've got here old toothbrush, so let's just put this in here. Right, I'm just going to see how I get on with this. Oh, well, that's quite cool. So yeah, let's just go in. Okay. More. I love how it looks on the fence. That's really pretty. Okay. Yeah, quite like that, to be honest. Do we want any over the horse? I don't think so. Just a little bit over that clock. Smudge that off the horse. Yeah, I think that's quite pretty like that, to be honest. I don't want to kind of do it on the horse, or you know, have it going over the horse. So I think kind of that's probably as many splatters as I want. Right, I'm just going to now stand up and have a look down on it, because you know, I just sometimes think really when you stand up and have a look down, you know, you can get a completely different kind of perspective, and sometimes you think, oh, actually, you know, it's missing this or it's missing that. But actually, I think I'm quite happy with how it looks. It's really different for me. You know, I'm not saying I did keep it quite colourless. It's probably a bit more coloured than I'd hoped, you know, but for me, this does look quite colourless. So, I mean, compared to the last couple of layouts that I've done that were just smothered in colour, this is pretty colourless. So, yeah, quite happy with it, I think. So I hope that you guys like it. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching. And hopefully you will join me next time. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much then, and have a great day. Thanks then. Bye.